Hey guys, you're watching American Wire. So Cedric Richmond and Matt Gaetz get into a heated shouting match during a House hearing. Check it out.
As a black male who went to the fifth best public high school in the country, who was a victim of excessive force, who has a black son, who has worries that you all don't. And to my colleagues, especially the ones that keep introducing amendments that are a tangent and a distraction from what we're talking about, you all are white males, you never lived in my shoes, and you do not know what it's like to be an African-American male. And all I'm saying is, if you are opposed to this legislation, let's just have the vote. But please do not come in this committee room and make a mockery of the pain that exists in my community. I'm not interested in studying Antifa. I'm not even interested in studying the Klan or sovereign citizens right now, because that is not the imminent threat that black men face on a daily basis. And right now, too often, it is law enforcement, those who were sworn to protect and to serve. And I will give you the benefit of the doubt that it is an unconscious bias that I'm hearing, because at worst it's conscious bias, and that I would hate to assume from any of the people on the other side.
Will the gentleman yield?
Sure.
I appreciate your passion. Are you suggesting that you're certain that none of us have non-white children? Because you reflected on your black son and you said none of us could understand.
Matt, stop. I'm not about to get sidetracked about the color of our children. We're talking about black kids. I reclaimed my time.
You said that
I reclaimed my time. I know.
You want the discussion?
I know that
gentleman reclaimed his time.
I said I reclaimed my time. I already know that there are people on the other side that have black grandchildren. It is not about the color of your kids. It is about black males, black people in the streets that are getting killed. And if one of them happens to be your kid, I'm concerned about him too. And clearly I'm more concerned about him than you are. So let's be clear about that.
You're claiming you're more concerned for my family than I do? Who in the hell do you think you are?
Gentlemen,
if the shoe fits.
You don't know how much we care about our families.
Kick dog holler.
You should take those words down. I know you care about your family and love your family.
The gentleman will suspend. The gentleman will suspend. The time belongs to the gentleman from Louisiana.
Cedric, would you yield?
Was that a nerve?
Yeah, you damn right.
I yield to the gentleman from Louisiana.
I say this honestly. I appreciate you yielding. You are my good friend, and we hail from the same state, and I respect you, and I love you. And I say this honestly. If all that you said is true, and I believe it is, then why didn't the Democrats allow us to assist with this? Why draft a bill in the dark of night in a back room somewhere and then present it to us whole cloth? If you really wanted us to work together, and we want to, why not give us that opportunity? Do you have an answer for that?
You know, I do have an answer for that. Because you all were in charge for a while. We've been in charge for a while. I have been singing the same song since 1991. People on the streets right now are demanding action right now. We saw what was just presented in the Senate. It was a watered down bill, and right now this is a national crisis.
You know, when I was first listening to Cedric Richmond, I thought that he had a lot of valid points that he was making. But I feel where he went wrong is when he made it personal. When he said because he is a black man with a black child that no one could understand what they're going through. So when Matt Gaetz said, are you assuming that none of us have black children? And that was a huge and good point for Matt to put on the table there. Because if you have a black child, you know what Cedric Richmond is talking about. You understand it. You know what they're going through. You're being sensitive to it, etc. as their parent. So the thing that kind of made me think wonder was when Matt Gaetz brought that point to the table, Cedric quickly just wanted to censor him and stop him from talking. But meanwhile, earlier, he wanted this conversation to happen, right? So when Matt Gaetz got really, really pissed off, and then Cedric said, "Oh, I hit a button or punch a button or something like that," he said, I mean, that was just not called for. Matt Gaetz was trying to make a point, and Cedric was not willing to allow that conversation to go anywhere else. And when Mike Johnson raised another good point, if Cedric really wanted this to come to a House hearing today and to be able to move forward with this, why didn't they invite Republicans into the room to form this bill together, so that they already had the back and forth concerns and issues done, and then they just brought it to the House hearing today and it would have been voted on? So Mike Johnson had a perfect question to ask Cedric, why wasn't that done? I wasn't really sure I agreed with how Cedric answered that question, because I feel he would have gotten a lot further if he invited some Republicans into that meeting.